gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank, man. We're joined by Patrick Price, a.k.a. Aches. We got Chris Parasite Duarte, and then, of course, we got the one and only Ben J. Nassim. Gentlemen, how we feeling today, man? How we doing?
We're good, Tom. Your mic's a little robotic, but we're great. My bad for being late, guys. Sorry we're starting the show a little bit late. I was bowling with Rambo Ray. So my apologies there. But yeah, I'm here now. Some good games today. Excited to break it down with you, gentlemen.
Hell yeah, man. Ben, how you doing, Benny?
I'm doing good. Obviously, super long stream. I was live this morning. Big game tomorrow, Tom. Obviously, in my life, we had the North London Derby, and I may be mega sad on the show if we get smoked by Arsenal, which is not out of the realm, out of the possibility because they are sitting top of the league, unfortunately. So
yeah,
we shall. I'll provide an update tomorrow on the show based on how I'm feeling, but it's not looking good right now.
Yeah, nah, Ben is a Spurs fan. It's not looking good for him, I'm going to be honest.
Not
and then
good.
we got Chris Parasite in the building. Chris, how you doing? I know you haven't had your PCs. You're losing full. You want to play some COD.
Yeah, dude, I've been moving and stuff, and I finally got the majority of my setup here, so I'm able to, hop on the flank, watch the matches and all that stuff with you guys. So I'm excited to be back. Hopefully you guys didn't miss me for a day.
No, we missed you, Chris. We always miss you, man. It's a pleasure to have you back, Chris. It's a pleasure, man. Tony did a good job yesterday, though. We got to show some love to Tony. He came in the last minute and did a good job, too. So shout out to my man, Tony. But, hey, man, we had 4 matches today. A lot of great matches. I say we get right into it, man. No wasting time. Let's switch over. We got Los Angeles Guerrillas going up against the Florida Mutineers in the series number 1. Embassy Hardpoint, El Asilo S&D, El Asilo Control, Mercado Hardpoint, and Fortress Search and Destroy. I mean, gentlemen, anything on Vito's that caught your eye?
I called it before the show started, or not the show, but before the match started, sorry. And I said that the LA Guerrillas got both of their best HPs. These are maps that these guys play a lot. So I wasn't really surprised to see them winning both hard points, even though one of them was a absolute clutch out of them. Besides that, not really anything that surprised me in the vetoes, at least. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I think you highlighted that was obviously the best hardpoint maps from when the LAG Academy team was a thing, and obviously with 3 of those 4 players now in LAG, I think that is fair. Yeah, nothing else on the veto front. I mean, we just get into the hard point and talk about where I think this might be LAG's best game mode. Probably the 3 now.
Yeah, I mean,
that just sucks because it's only 2 out of 5 modes, Ben.
Yeah,
it is only 2 out of 5 modes, but we did get a good look at the new Los Angeles Guerrillas today. I mean, we got new members here: Joe Deceives, Exceed, and Assault joined the team. Assault, obviously a familiar face. Shout out to Adam Assault. And then we got Joe Deceives and Exceed, who are 2 young guns in the scene. They're coming up from challengers, and I thought they played pretty well for their first series. I thought they showed out today. Granted, they didn't win the series, but I thought they were looking good and they were playing pretty well. But what did you guys think about the new guys?
I think these guys are definitely an improvement from the last roster. The thing that I was afraid of this series,
that ain't saying too much.
Of course. But the thing that I was afraid of this series, which ended up happening, was that they would end up losing, one of the respawns to this Florida team, which would send them to like S&Ds for the the game winner. And when you're playing a team like Florida, that's already notorious for Nesloing teams, right? Just having when you don't have reps in search and destroy, it's going to be very hard to win those series versus a more seasoned team that has a lot of reps, because tournament reps and league match reps are far different than just scrimming search, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, apparently Exceed, well, not apparently, he did say this on video in an interview. He said that Joe Deceives is the most talented COD player in the league so far. Listen, I think he's a very talented player, but we definitely need to see some more. But what do you guys think about that, Pat? Why are you giggling over there? What do you think, Pat? You think it's too soon?
Listen, Tom. I'm drinking out the red solo cup, but I don't know what Exceed is drinking. Cause best in the league.
That's what he said. He said most talented. I think.
Listen,
he's gassing his teammates. He's gassing his teammates.
Up my teammates, but listen, bro, we gotta at least keep it reasonable.
Well, I mean, it is new. He's gassing up his teammate, but I am curious to see how this guy plays. I mean, he was playing really well in this first map. He was moving and grooving, double positive here. It was the second rotation where LAG really kicked up. They got a big P2 hold and chained that P3, and they kind of just ran away with this one. After that, Florida didn't really keep up with LAG in the slaying department when it came to the hard points. Ben, what do you think was going on with them?
With Florida?
Yeah.
I mean, this has been their weakest game mode by far. I think we're gonna actually have Vickle joining us here shortly, Tom. You could probably ask him about it. But yeah, I mean, this is to what Chris said earlier, bro, like with Florida, I think they just sometimes lack the power, the punch in respawn. Actually, with Vickle's in here now, so let's actually ask him yourself.
User was moved.
Yo, Vickle, can you hear us?
Hello.
Vickle, what's going on, Vickle? What's happening?
Hi. I just DM'd you because I wanted to come here because I've been hearing a lot of comments about what I did to my hair. So apart from speaking about the match, obviously, because it was a cooler, but also like clarify a little bit about what I did to my hair, and because so many people were like saying I'm irresponsible for doing it mid-season. So I just want to clarify.
Yeah, sure. Clarify. One, I'm gonna say you look like $1 million. I will say that you're looking good. And two, yeah, bro, you got the floor, bro. Go ahead. What did you do?
I got a hair transplant during the winter break. A lot of people knew that I was receding a lot in the front, so I was uncomfortable with the hairline situation, so decided to go with a hair transplant. Yeah. And I got a lot of DMs about people, telling me I'm thinning as well, like more questions about it. So yeah, I wanna tell people I wanna use the space you're giving me. Thank you very much to just tell people that with nowadays technology, man, like if you're worried about thinning hair, like if you can afford it, I would 100% recommend it.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of people who've done that, Vickle. I know a lot of guys who have gotten hair transplants. Like it's especially now, like there's so many different ways you can do it. But nah, bro, hell yeah, but bro, do you, man?
Good for you, bro.
Yeah, do whatever makes you happy,
bro,
man. It's
look
your life.
Good, feel good, play good, bro.
Yeah,
so
man.
do your thing.
It's your life,
exactly.
man. And bro, great job today as well. Great job in the match. You guys looked. I mean, you guys hit him with the 2-3-5 today. What do you think happened in the hard points, Vickle? What do you think happened?
I'll let you. I was hearing you guys, and to be honest, like on our hard points, it's not translating directly from scrims yet, but I feel like we've been getting so much better at it, and we're just like a little. We're so close yet so far. So I feel like with tomorrow we can maybe show better hard points against Toronto, and obviously during the rest of the matches.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
So you didn't have a headset on today, right? Like you had no game audio?
I can't wear a headset. I'm playing with earbuds right now, like the same thing as in main stage, and instead of wearing a headset over my earbuds and using the mic, I just put it over my shoulders.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say you were smoking with no headset on. So we're talking about LAG. I mean,
probably nice. Probably nice playing with no headset on. Probably feels nice.
Trust me, it's really nice. And at the end of the day, like I'm not allowed to use a headset right now, but I recommend if people can actually like set up something to not use headset, it fucks your hairline up, man. Like trust me, I know.
Yeah, no, like wearing hats and wearing headsets and stuff, like being it pressed on the top of your head can like fuck it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm not wearing a headset, but I do have game sound, guys, and I do have game voice chat. Like people were just like tweaking on the stream and DMing me, but yeah, I hear everything on my earbuds.
I don't know why people are so worried about what's going on in your life, man. People need to mind their own business. You know what I'm saying, Vickle? But hey,
yeah,
I appreciate you coming on and clarifying. Who is that? Is that Vickle's mic? Just to make sure it's not one of the.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's mine.
yours.
Yeah, I think it was mine.
Oh,
my bad.
Nah, you're good, Vickle. You're good. One, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We're gonna hop into the S&D.
Thank you very much for having me in.
You're more than welcome to stay if you want to stay, but if not, man, we'll catch you another time.
I'm just gonna sit here, hear you guys speak about my match, and then I'll leave.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. Hey, you do whatever you want, man. Thank you for coming on.
you.
All right, bro.
Thank you. Bye.
Take it easy, man. Hey, listen, let's get into the next map. We get into an LS Silo Search and Destroy. This one went all the way down to around 11, which is where Havoc ended up doing some big ball plays. But going into the S&D, that was one thing that Florida didn't have any problems with, huh, guys? No problems in the S&D.
Listen, the Greasy Gang was thriving, especially from this map on. And look, going into the series, I think we knew what we were going to get from Florida in searches. This is a team that's really good at playing a bunch of different ways. In search, we didn't know what to get from this LAG squad. And I would say for the LAG guys, like they were very competitive in this map. And I think you could argue to an extent that they definitely had a shot to win this. I don't know how you think, Chris and Pat, about how it played out.
In terms of their S&D, at least in challenges when they played with the academy roster, they were really good at search. I still remember when they won, I think it was the first cup or something like that. They won it in winning SNDs and controls in a best of 7. So these guys are definitely not a bad SND team. My thing and the story of the search and destroys for this team and why they were not able to beat Florida was simply they couldn't convert the rounds where they were getting first blood. There was a ton of rounds where they had man advantages and then they were quick to throw them away, or they were basically just getting like picked apart by the Florida team. And I think in time they'll probably fix that. I think a lot of it probably comes down to like miscommunication and lack of just having a lot of reps, like, you know, tournament reps and league reps as a team. RCDs is probably still trying to acclimate to playing with this team in search and destroy. He didn't really have too good of a performance. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Pat, what did you think? Anything, Pat?
What was the LAG's team in group play at Raleigh in the record when they were in pool play? Their S&D record. It wasn't that great, was it?
I'm not sure. Unless
they
Ben
were
or somebody has the
hardpoint.
stats.
It was the same thing, right? Like they were just an impressive hardpoint team. Remember, didn't they beat FaZe in both hardpoints?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
But they lost they lost all the S&D. So I just think S&D is a weak point. And this to me, this is a team that's like obviously pretty good in hardpoint. But as we've seen in the past, like that's just going to give you, in my opinion, like really inconsistent results because you're not. I mean, it's impossible to win hardpoints consistently in every series against every team.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a big concern for me if they don't figure out S&D.
Yeah, and then we talk about the map a little bit. This was a big round in the 3v3 round. 2v2 situation, and I like what Joe DeCease did here. It's a good play out of him. I like that he's getting confident as well, but he just door busts out of there and just absolutely two-piece world stars him. So really good play out of Joe DeCease there. One thing I noticed on this site is just, and Chris, maybe you can add into this a little bit, but a lot of A rushes, man. Just like typical, just like a lot of just rushing A, getting it down right away and just playing for an A plan. It's not often you see people gravitate towards that B site unless they kind of go like maybe late in the round. But A is definitely the more favorable bomb set on this one.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a weak point, Tom, as to why LAG weren't able to really like do anything on offense. They just kept playing the outskirts of the map, and they were letting Florida kind of run up to the bomb and plant it unscathed. And they were relying too much on retakes and not really so much on like map pressure. And so I think they weren't really doing themselves any favors in stopping what Florida was doing.
Yeah, and then we can obviously go to take a look at the round 11, but Havoc was unbelievable in this one. I mean, he's currently 7-7, but he makes a really good play at the end of this one, and just to see how it kind of broke down. This is a big map for Florida, because if they lose this round 11, I feel like the series could have gone differently. So kind of see how they were able to do it. Again, back to the basic, get into A, get the bomb down. Assault actually finds one with that nade across the map. Do you think there's something that LAG messed up on here, maybe trolled? Alec ends up getting picked out, and so does Assault. He get pieced up by Havoc.
If you run it back, I just don't think they were watching out, and then Colt just hit it and got kills.
My round though that really like signified the whole series was the round before that, Tom, the 5-4 round, because we were talking about it on stream. Me and Ben actually said they keep letting Florida like just run up and plan A. I wonder, if they're gonna end up stacking the A bomb at one point. And the round before this, they stacked the A bomb, they get the first blood, and then they're just kind of sitting in the bomb site. And for some reason, the players kind of just sat in the bomb site. No one else came to help them, and they got picked apart, and the round fell apart when they had gotten the first blood and the stop on the bomb. So I think, like I said, these guys just couldn't convert their first bloods into wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pat, anything else added to the S&D before we get into the map number 3, which ended up being an NYSL control?
Nah, nothing for me, Tom.
All right, let's get fucking in it, ladies and gentlemen. This one went all the way down into an overtime. LSCLO control, I feel like we haven't seen too much of a change in this one. I feel like all these teams kind of play it the same. They kind of just bounce around from both points. Chris, I heard you talking about it, but I feel like it's good plays if you're like on B, and then if your teammates die, cut back under bottom mid, right? Go back to A or cut back. You could kind of use bottom mid as kind of like a route you could take to go from point to point and just kind of keep like the defensive team like on their toes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's because usually most teams, when they're trying to retake, let's say B point, for example, they're either flanking your spawn like around top pool, or they're playing out of their top like patio, like some people call it top party, like the little white tent area. So if you're able to like catch some timing and like bait them over to shifting to B and then just running down the corridor in the closet to A, you can really break ankles, and that's what Exceed ended up doing, and they almost actually won the round because of it. But yeah, it's definitely a good play to just keep shifting points through the middle of the map.
I want to highlight this play from Assault. Assault. I thought this was a great play. LEG, they win the first defense to go up 1-0, and then going into the second round, Assault actually finds a gap in a map, hitting through that left side, and he kind of just disrupts this whole push or this whole setup from the Florida Mutineers. Just a good route. And Pat, I know this is your guy, man. You won a world championship with this guy. What's it like seeing Assault back in there doing his thing?
It's good. I mean, I've always thought Assault was nasty. Obviously, in my opinion, the big issue with Adam was just like he wasn't in the right circles. But talent-wise, he's always been a beast. So it is good to see him back. I hope he does find success this year. I mean, I know we were talking about this LAG roster change in general being a positive, but I'm afraid that this team just still isn't going to be enough to make the run that I think they otherwise would be capable of doing.
Yep. And then just to show you guys a little highlight, but take a look at this. Assault with a 4-piece streak ends up taking down all of Florida, but they still end up losing this round.
I think, sorry, Tom, if you back up, I think that this happens. We were talking about this live because they spawned and threw all of their stuff over and popped the trophy. And that way he was able to drop this down and get all the kills.
Yeah, no.
I wanna say the trophy was alive. The one that was popped is the one behind the one that Mike threw. In my screen, you know how like there's like a blue circle on top of the trophy when you know it's live.
Yeah.
It was still on my screen. It was still live. Mike was like, spread. They're gonna throw a lot of things over, and I was like, no, don't spread. This trophy's still live, and they didn't throw anything else. They already threw all their stuff to the other trophy. So from my screen, it seemed like it was still alive.
Yeah, no, that was interesting. I don't understand trophies because I'm pretty sure when I was
saw
playing
it on Fortress, it didn't work. Like Chris, you called it out. There was one on Fortress where like someone put the
It was the one on the Fortress
truck.
though might be like the reason why it didn't work is because it was in the truck. So when the missile was coming down, it didn't like get hit by the protection radius because it was in the truck. And like obviously when it gets too close to the ground, like it's not gonna like pop it as it's blowing up. So I don't know. The Fortress one was weird, but this one, I mean, I'm gonna take your word for it. But at the end of the day, like I don't know.
I was playing H the other day and I crashed a missile right on top of a trophy system. It did nothing. I literally just killed the guy.
I wonder
standing on
if I wonder if the trophy's one tick. So you know it eats 3 things. If it's one tick, it'll blow. The trophy won't eat the missile. I think it might. Maybe it has to be a certain amount of ticks.
Yeah, maybe need to be strong enough. Yeah. I'm
yeah.
not really too
So
sure.
I don't know.
And then just to talk about the map a little bit more, Florida, they end up winning 3 straight. They bring it back, and this is just Havoc, man. The Havoc show. He went absolutely insane in this map. 36 and 23 now. I forget what he finishes with, but he gets 40 or like close to 40. But I just think he does a really good job just playing corners, bottom mid, switching up his lanes, and just kind of being a nuisance, you know, being annoying and just being like difficult to deal with. You guys have played before when there's a sub kind of in your spawn or kind of maneuvering around and you can't keep track of them. It's very annoying to play against. So I just thought it was good plays coming out of Colt. And just to see how it kind of all unfolded, it was Florida that was on the defensive side, and they were able to hold strong. Good pieces coming in from Vickle as well down low here. That was big plays here. You can see Exceed disrupting that point. Vickle finds one, ends up jumping down, finds another one. Last guy here is Joe Deceives, and he takes him out back. So good 3-piece coming out of Vickle.
One little stat for you, Tom.
Yes,
Every
sir.
Asilo offensive control round has been won on caps. It's never came down to team wipes or lives. It's the only map in CDO history that is true for.
Asilo
24
control?
rounds. Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder why. Why do you think that is?
I just think it's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like if you get a wipe and control in this game, like kind of what Attach was mentioning, like how the maps are set up, like it's basically just a guaranteed cap.
Yeah. No, I'm not really too sure why. Maybe because you spawn kind of deep in LSilo. You spawn like if you get like a clean wipe, you spawn like pretty deep. So maybe that's why.
The offensive spawn feels so like much further than the defensive spawn on that map. It's so weird.
Yeah, and then we get into the 4th map, and this is where LAG just made like an absolute crazy comeback. I don't know how they were able to make this one happen. It was going pretty back and forth, and then towards the end of this one, LAG just completely turned it around. So kudos to them. But Ben, we'll kick it with you. What caught your eye in Mercado Hardpoint? The LAG, they went down a lot, and they stuck with it.
It was we'll get to the P3, the P4. I mean, it was the staying alive in the P3 and a lot of craziness on the P4 back alley leading to a closeout on the P5. So, I mean, we can kind of watch the last couple of hills and kind of talk through it live unless you want to listen to this list.
Yeah, let's go into the listening with Florida and see how they were coming.
play out, bro. I don't have your dark.
I'll look your L. I have your dark. I have your dark.
I'm holding the DP.
Got me. He hit long. I'll chop me cut.
That's so.
Mike, you should soak up time. Trust. Go tunnel. I have your dark. I have your B cut.
One's on
I'm
me.
looking your deep. Look your deep population.
One's on me.
Help me.
Right truck, bro. He's going carpet.
Let's hold from this side. Javi, they're behind us.
Carpet.
One's get shot. Headshot. Don't keep me. I go stunned.
I have your head shell.
Same breaks.
Alright, one deep. Alright, all good.
One's in time. Contest mode. Try to get test mode.
weak. Where's
Yo, we get kills, they spawn out.
Bricks is down. Bricks is down.
Downtime with me. Come help me.
Tunnel, not weak.
And one's tunnel dead.
Time dead.
Nice, that's 3.
Anchor.
Yes,
I'm
one's
coming
gonna be long on you,
They're
Javi.
coming from long.
I spawned out court. They're spawning
One's top or
rockers.
low.
I get to them.
I get one total.
I have your low.
Just lay down, hold on.
I have low in chairs.
I'm leaving you court.
Top, weak for you.
Try to get them, Mike.
Nice.
One more top, Joe.
Okay.
Carpet after that.
Okay. I
I'm
didn't
trying to
stun.
get the top.
He's on the staircase now. Mike, on the staircase.
One shot on the staircase.
Another one, RCDs.
I'm actually gonna end it there, and this is kind of where LAG just bring it back towards the end of that listening. They're able to get a really good break onto this second P2, and then even this next hill after this one, Ben, LAG was able to break. So just back-to-back breaks from LAG. Florida maybe looking back at that one and maybe kicking themselves for that. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I think for Florida with some of these maps, especially on Mercado, we were talking about during the live stream, like they've been close on a lot of these Mercados and just can't close. And you know, we say this about sports and esports, like bad teams say in esports in a specific mode find a way to lose those maps. I think for the Florida guys, reps I think will come with time on this map, but just a lot of plays, and you'll see it shortly with LAG on this P3 and then on this P4, and how they were able to make this comeback and force a game 5.
Yeah, so you can see LAG somehow able to break it. It started with Exceed and Arcides coming through the front. They were able to find 2, and then it was just kind of like a swarm from LAG. They kind of played through Garage. You can see Arcides, he's the last one up that ends up falling here. And you see they get those like P2 spawns, and then they end up just kind of flooding. They use it as like a pinch almost. Like they just kind of pinch in through middle and kind of hit this hill. And somebody also lost a big fight mid-map, so just big wins out of LAG. It just seems like they won all the fights because that was massive right there. LAG, they end up breaking that one. And then we go all the way down to the final moments of this game. This was actually insane, bro. Honestly, let's go into an in-game listening and just tune in.
Can still win it. To go. They are stacked. Pioneers have to sprint. They have to dive in for this one as well. Brack is going through the door. Assault is firing. And it is coming down to a...
Havoc!
Eventually gets it.
Rotation.
The rotation again. Exceed now is here as a 1 versus 1. Exceed has to try and win this. He finds the first, but no, he's stunned. They go for the chow. The rest of LAG are pouring through back alley. They need to get into this one, Tom. What is going on? LAG and Havoc are still fighting. It is an absolute slugfest.
10 seconds away from the side of Florida Mutineers. Arseny's 1-2. Assault finds another. Map number 5. We eventually go. What a game 4.
Yeah,
And
Tom,
just like that, man. What a map, dude. That was insane.
if you back it up, and Javi, maybe if you're here, you can speak to this. You guys probably didn't know how many people were in that building, right? And that's why when the sun came in, probably hesitated. Yeah, Mike and Chow.
We knew this was the last guy. I saw him, like, if you go back before the hill pops, I see him going. So we did know, but to be honest,
Took them so long to chow, bro.
It just comes down to a blessed spawn they get on the first P1, and also like us not holding P6 with full rotation. It's just we're like just choking, like you guys said.
Yeah, you guys did get a break on P6.
Yeah, I feel like you guys just did. Yeah, you just lost fights. I mean, it happens. You know, you guys set up, and Alec also hit like he got a 2-piece with a nade. He got one with the gun and one with a nade. So just good plays out of Alec there. And LAG able to push this to a map number 5, which honestly, the map number 5. Vico, I mean, you could speak a little bit about your guys' S&D, but the map number 5 was clinical from you guys. It wasn't even close. It was a 6-1 victory. You guys kind of just ran through them. How's the S&D practice been going for you guys? You've been doing it every day, or like how does that go?
Obviously coming into this team, you obviously know how Mike and Colt are. They're like big S&D stars. So one big thing they always like to do is to have S&Ds pretty much every day.
Yeah.
We avoided any pro teams before the major because obviously we didn't want to teach them or give them good reps. So we decided to play no pro teams, and now we're moving on and playing more pro teams this time because they play like a bit slower than AM teams in my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
I like
this
that,
map, This map was just the same one as Optic Map 5 during the major. We kind of just rode them.
Yeah, just to go through it a little bit. Look at the ace here from Havoc. I felt like after this happened, it was chalked. Like
Yeah,
once,
no, we were flipping out.
I mean, Havoc just absolutely just ego chat them all. He checked them and still won the gunfight. So just Havoc just absolutely pissing on him. You know, in the second round here. So just really good ace from him. And go ahead, Chris. I know you're gonna say something.
I was gonna say the scoreline didn't really reflect it, but like I can literally go out and point out like a couple rounds that LAG could have probably won to like at least be competitive, and it's the same story, bro. They get first blood, they don't get the bombs down, they don't convert these first bloods. Their S&Ds are living and dying by this, and that's the reason why that you guys were able to just beat them. You guys just have a better understanding of what to do in search when you guys get number advantages, and they're just making way too many mistakes.
Well, this is one of those rounds where the third round here is where they had the numbers. It was Vic who ended up finding one. Vigo, what angle did you get him off? Bomb here? Did you shoot through the bomb or shoot through the platform? How'd you get this first?
Nah, just he doesn't. I don't feel like Joe has a good idea of how to plant the bomb in A, because you're not supposed to be seen from close the way I see it, the way I plan. So I mean, I consider myself a pretty good player defending this A bomb site.
Yeah.
I think we did a great job against Optic during the major, and against these guys, I don't think they got one bomb down. So pretty good job from us.
Good plays out of you guys, or out of you especially, to not let them get that bomb down, because they had the numbers there. You level it out. So that's around the LAG kind of troll their numbers. This was actually the only round they did win. Which ended up being a retake. It was Florida who got that bomb down, and LAG just ended up storming through Art and kind of storming through the back and having a nice retake here. But other than that, this one was all over. Vigo, any final words you have on the series, or everybody watching, everybody supporting?
Yeah, I would just like to say obviously thank you to you guys for letting me in, and just like let people know that, man, like if you want to get a hair transplant, just do it. Like being
that.
uncomfortable with the situation is not worth it, in my opinion. So yeah, that's
like that, man.
That's all I wanted to say. So thank you for having me, and yeah,
congrats on the W, man, and congrats on the successful transplant, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats on everything, bro, and thank you for coming on.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Bye bye.
Hey, can we get a Wick on the chat? Show Vickle some love, man. I was gonna tell him to hit us with a sue, like a suey, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to put him on the spot. But shout out to my man Vickle for coming on. And then as we get into the next series, any final thoughts on this one, gentlemen? Any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I got a good one, Tom.
Mark,
I got a good one.
We're gonna go first, which is
Yeah, I've already brought it up. Tom. I already brought it up, and you're
I
good.
was gonna say, if you go back and look at Alex's face after that series, and that really says it all. And I think this LAG Academy team, I think, is probably the right move. Let's see with a little bit of time what this team can do. They don't have the easiest. I don't think anyone really has a super easy schedule in this major 4 cycle. It's going to be an uphill battle for them to try and get 2 or 3 wins to really make it to winners bracket. They do face off against Thieves tomorrow, and they have Rokkr facing the Ultra after that. So let's see how they do tomorrow. If they can go 1-1 this week, I think that's actually a big dub.
I got the bag, but at what cost?
What's happening, Chris?
Your meme, it's funny.
Bro, Pat is Pat. That's
That's a moron, bro.
I don't know how you get these things made so fast, but it's the slay, man. It's what he does. Let's get into the next one, man. We got the London Royal Ravens. Unless Pat, you have anything to say about that series, or was that it? Was the meme it?
Yeah. I mean, Alex actually played horrible in this series. I don't know what. I think he tweeted after, like he was switching PCs or something, but he had a bad series. Yeah, I don't know. It's a rough showing to come out and get and lose to Florida. I mean, honestly, Florida should have won that 3-1. Let's be real. They should have easily won that 3-1. They definitely choked Map 4, but I'm not impressed so far. Just wanted to kind of get that out there.
All right, let's get into the next one. London Royal Ravens going up against the Minnesota Rokkr. Fortress Hardpoint, Mercado S&D, Fortress Control, Hotel Hardpoint, and Fortress Search and Destroy. We'll kick it off for y'all. Anything on the vetoes that caught your eye here, folks? Anything at all?
I mean, nothing too crazy. Rokkr don't really play Hydro Hardpoint. We don't really know going into this what London's sort of best maps are. And honestly, I don't think we knew really who was going to win this series coming. I don't think either team was in crazy form. So this one ended up being quite interesting. But go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I said it a little bit yesterday when we were doing our predictions. But to your point, Ben, I actually had something drawn up to kind of give my thoughts on this series as a whole. I'm gonna bring it up for you on on stream right now. But yeah,
Look here,
I
Pat. Let's
think
take a
this
look
kind of
here.
just
Battle
spoke
of
to me.
mid, Pat. That's what you think?
You just cut out the fucking way part, but okay.
Ben, what are your immediate thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree with Pat. I think this was a really nice comeback win, reverse sweep for Minnesota. And I know Dylan came on our watch party afterwards and talked about how they all like had food poisoning. So they were coming into this series not being at their best. And a typical win, but it was another series where they didn't win game one. They had to fight tooth and nail after Ravens almost tossed that second map after going up quite a bit. And just to kind of touch on their schedule, like Rokkr still have to play FaZe, Gorillas, and Surge in this qualifier. So it's a good baby step for them. But to Pat's point, I think we still got to figure out if this Rokkr team is for real or if they're going to be unfortunate starting and losers.
Yeah, just to go into the map a little bit, we actually got a London Royal Ravens listening. Thought they sounded pretty hectic, to be honest. They had a lot of energy. I actually really liked it. So let's tune in. And yeah, Asum was just having an unbelievable map. He's been playing great for them. So just tune into what he did at the end of this map.
Kind of a hectic. I would say.
Not push out the door yet. He's in the right corner of the door.
He's gonna be right corner of the door.
Yeah, I'm wrapping right. It's Marcus. He's top maps. Top right. Nice. It's Marcus. It was Marcus out.
Right door. He's gonna spawn open. If we're blocking, he's gonna spawn open.
Top right. He's top right. Kill him.
Watch your
He's in the right corner. He's in the corner there. Open weak. Here, one door. Everyone spawns.
There's one bottom right.
He's outside the time, I think.
Cut in front. Push backside
Backside the time, weak.
Pushing with door, Maddie. I spawn you, go.
Watch your front. He's in time. He's in time on one shot. I can't tell.
That's four.
Nice, get time back. That's a good 20. That's a good 20.
I need a trophy.
I have you over. Pushing out in front. Top dubs, guys. Attach your top dubs. He's in big, man. One's in bot. I don't know. Everyone keep talking.
Take our time.
I'm breaking. We got one's out. P1. I'm breaking. I'm pushing out. I'm coming.
Okay, that's going to do it for the listening for the London Royal Ravens. Holy hell, were they coming. And then we got another one coming in from the Minnesota Rokkr. Let's tune in and see how the Rokkr was sounding.
The other side of the screen, a check-in now with Rokkr.
Yeah, he's weak.
Yeah, I'm up top.
Okay, they're going to try and hit right.
Oh, he's top window hop.
Okay, I'm watching trees. Trees down. Need your P2 door.
He's one dubs. I think we're back.
P2, absolutely.
Let's go.
Push out the left. They're spawning dubs.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna spawn P1. We're blocking dubs. Still helping you with getting one. They're dub steps, right?
Yeah, keep all it. One's here though.
Coming open. One cannon.
I got back.
Top balcony. Front door.
I'm trying to block left.
Front door arch, challenge you.
Back door,
nice.
I'm wrapping right.
Don't see him.
They don't know whoever's here.
Back door. Good boys.
I'm playing P2 to help, too.
Okay.
On
Someone needs to look at my pinch though.
Yeah, Matt's trying to
pinch still.
Someone needs to look at my left. Oh, you got it?
And that's going to do it for Minnesota Rokkr. What'd you guys think about the comms?
Completely different from both teams. And even though Ravens started off pretty hot, I think the comms and the composure out of Rokkr was what ultimately let them to, come back in this map, take a lead.
Well, London actually win this map, Chris.
Yeah.
I know. I'm talking about the lead that they took. Like in the map, right now.
I see what you're saying. Like the comeback, like the
comeback of the points. They chained.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And then as we get into this last P2, the way that they were able to do this one, I mean, this was just Asa, man. This was an incredible play out of him. And just to kind of show you guys how he was able to do it. First, it's Nasty. He's going to get pushed up close. Trey finds an entry. Nasty, he's going to go down. Asum jumps into the hard point. Finds two. As time is coming down, I think Asum ends up falling here. And then he comes back and absolutely piss slams him. So he's going to go down. Bunch of trades are going back and forth. I mean, let's just go into a listening with this as well, because this was just hectic.
Fights are going to be so big. Pants versus Nasty. Pants is able to take down the first. Asim finds a trade. More players in from London. They get the break.
Asim, he's able to break it, and now it's all onto the Rokkr from the front. 4 left to go. Here comes Rokkr. 2 end up dropping, but a few more seconds. Oh, it's back and forth. It's back and forth. Nasty's going to win the fight, but there's one more player here. It's Vance. Vance holding it down. Vance V0. Benjamin takes it. Asim is is here. Trade after trade. And Asim hands him a triple and will hand them the loss.
That is wild.
Love the casting from Lando and Jay as well. Love that, getting the energy pumping. But Asim, I mean, what do you say about that, man? We might as well just tune in and just watch it.
I mean,
There's not much to say.
Tom, watching London so far this season is Asim and Inshallah, bro. Like,
They need to change their franchise name, bro. It's the London Asims. Fuck the Ravens, bro.
He absolutely went crazy right there. He was going absolutely nuts. It just honestly just good play from London and just keep that pressure on him. Just keep flooding. Just flood. And is obviously Asim just finding like 7 kills at the end of that one. So great job out of him. Any thoughts on the map number 1? Thought it was a great match, or a great first map. Went very back and forth. Ben, what are you smiling at over there, Ben J? What are you smiling at?
That's my joke, but go ahead.
Any final thoughts on the series? Anybody? Any thoughts before we head into the next one?
I mean, the series not over. I mean, that was a crazy
map. On the map.
That was one of the more exciting fortresses we watched outside of, I think, some of the crazy comebacks we saw at Major 1. And then this map 2 was, once again, with the Asian show, like hyper aggression, getting early picks. London got out to a nice lead and almost actually tossed this map. Okay.
Yeah, it got a little scary. I mean, they got a really big lead. They ended up going up, what, like 1-4 or 2-5. And then obviously London or Minnesota, they start bringing it back a little bit. But Chris, talk to me about this map. What did you think about London in this one? Because they almost threw this one away. They actually ended up going up 2-0 in this series and getting reverse swept. So what do you think happened?
Well, at least in this map, I think London was just playing a lot more aggressive. We saw Atlanta Faze actually kind of replicating this to a different degree in the next series that we're going to watch. But this map is all about just like getting really aggressive on the A bomb. Some of it's like kind of on the RNG spawns is what I call them, because you get like these initial spawns that can either put you really close to A, where you can basically beat them to the other side of the map. I think London was doing a good job of exploiting that, while you kind of had Rokkr playing really passive. I know they had attached snipe a ton of rounds, and sniping on this map sometimes isn't very good, especially if the team likes to go A all the time.
Yep, and then one of the rounds I really wanted to take a look at was the 5th round here. This is kind of where Scraps and Trey were able to find that 2v4. Not really too sure what happened to Minnesota here. You can already see Trey. I think he ends up picking up 1 on a Trey. Let's see what happens. 2v4 situation. Asim ends up falling. So Trey finds 1. 2v3. You could kind of see Cammy. He kind of gets picked out by Scraps there, so he makes it a 2v2. And then Trey finds another one. I mean, what happened with Rokkr here? It seemed like they just collapsed within seconds. Pat, anything you saw, or Ben, anything that you saw there? If it looked like Rokkr just got caught with their pants down. This was a big swing round.
Can you rewind it real quick?
Yeah, I can rewind it. So you can see Scraps. He finds 1 Cammy. He jumps out the window. He falls. And then Trey also finds another one. I think that was top window. So just kind of getting picked. They didn't really challenge anything together, do anything together.
He was top window.
He was up top.
Trey was on the garbage head glitch right here, and the other guy was watching over him.
Yeah, no, it was good plays. Ended up winning a couple big gunfights. So good plays out of them. I felt like that was like a big momentum switch there. And then obviously we get into the 1-4 round. This is where Scraps, he ends up taking a really good route here. He ends up kind of playing like a little late flank here. You could kind of see him now on your screen. He's kind of playing up with everybody, but I like the route he takes after they try and get this bomb down. You can see attach. He ends up backing up, and Maddie said, screw it. I'm going to hit this out, and he actually finds the timing. He finds a gap on a map. Minnesota's not looking at it, and Scraps, he ends up finding a big 2-piece. This one was pretty much over here. Of course, Minnesota, Ben, like you said, started bringing it back, but it seemed like a pretty comfortable S&D for London.
I think there's a good learning lesson for people that are, play rank play, or you're playing wagers, you're just starting.
There's no rank play, Ben, at the moment.
Rank, whatever.
CDO Mosh Pit, yeah, it's not rank play. That's not rank play at all.
I think the way the Asim effectively throws shoulders a lot in this map, and just in general, like his ability to get information and stay alive is really key in decision making his teammates. So I think like going back and watch this map, he does it a lot, and I think it's a great learning lesson for people that are just starting out.
You can see Bance on your screen now. A little pretty good 2-piece out of him. And as we skim through it, Minnesota, they were able to bring it all the way down to 4-5. But this is kind of where London, they rush over to A. They get that bomb down in LAG. They got to work a retake. Cartier's playing a little credit corner. Minnesota can't find any way in. They end up falling 1 by 1. And Nasty in a 1v2 situation has the time to work with. Only 8 or 9 seconds, shoots him off the bomb, and it's already over. So good plays out of London to get that bomb down, use that time to their advantage, and they end up going up 2 on the series. Take a look at the scoreboard, 10-5 from Bance, but it wasn't enough. Everybody on London just pulling their weight, doing what they have to do to get the dub. Any final thoughts on the map number 2, gentlemen?
There's actually, not on the map number 2, Tom, but there's actually breaking news on the timeline right now. I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, I just got it. I go ahead and paste it into the stream.
Take a look.
We got a new look. We got a new look coming tomorrow.
How the hell did you get that already?
Dude, it's 5 players in that roster, by the way, not 4, but it's all good.
Yeah,
I mean, they need it. They need all 5. They need all 5.
So I guess their starting roster is 4 ASIMs and their bench is ASIM.
Yeah. And the coach.
Listen, bro, I think London, after some time goes by, I could see them kicking up and maybe playing a little bit better as a team. But I definitely think ASIM right now is definitely their star player. Like, he's been unbelievable. He's been making,
without question.
Yeah, he's been making it a series for them. Like, he's been playing really, really well. So kudos off to him. Then we get into the Fortress control. It might be one of the most boring controls I've ever watched. What do you guys think? This one was all 4 defense wins. Nobody really had any opportunity. One thing we did see was the most dominant round of control I think I've ever witnessed. Look at the lives. Look at the lives here from the Minnesota Rokkr.
Switch teams, Tom.
Oh, sorry. Look at the lives here from the Minnesota Rokkr. They ended up in the 1-1 round, 30-18. They're not even dead yet. They're not even dead. And I think they lost, like, 1 or 2 lives. Really, really good plays coming out from Minnesota. Chris and Ben and Pat, is this the most dominant round we've seen in control?
I think it's got to be, Tom. But also, after this, Tom, we actually seen the Ravens replicating a round very similarly until the end, and which is towards the end, that's why Rokkr was able to get defense, because up until this point, London was leading in the ticks.
Yeah.
And then there was this one game-changing play towards the end of the next round where Rokkr it's going to be here. So he gets this kill. He sees his teammate die, and then he backs up and just runs out close. And this 2-piece right there opens up B, and they just go. They get 2 ticks, and then they get defense next round. If they would have played that a little bit more passively after getting the first engage, they probably don't get into the scenario, which allows
a big 1v1 from
Rokkr
Afro here
into playing
too, because the trade wins that, he could keep them cut, and they only get 1 on Hill. You know, London might be able to get him off, but you can see Rokkr, they get that tick, like Chris said, and that ultimately leads to them getting the defense in the overtime, and especially on Fortress control, you want that defense, bro.
Yeah, they were basically 1 wave off of securing defense, which would probably got them the victory. Instead, they won the only wave they needed to, which got them the 2 ticks. That's actually kind of sad, because they're going to be kicking themselves in the ass, because that could have been a 3-0.
Yeah, could have been a 3-0, and yeah, I'm sure the London boys are not happy about that one, especially watching it back. When you lose a series like this, bro, it hurts, bro. When you're that close to winning, and then especially because they got reverse swept, you know, they end up losing this by the skin of their teeth, and then boom, they lose the next 2 maps, and it's done. So you know that series has got to be tough for them. But yeah, we go into the final round, and like I said, just all defensive wins, bro. People can't get out the spawn on this map. They can't get out.
Map's dog shit.
It's just ass. It's just a terrible map, especially for control. It's just awful, bro.
It's a map that I'm hoping once we can ideally get some season 2 content in here, we can replace this map with something else for the rest of the season, because it's an absolute snooze, and I'm sure the players enjoy playing it.
Yeah, and then we get to the 4th map. We get to a hotel hardpoint. This was pretty clinical from the Minnesota Rokkr. They chained the first P3 and the first P4, and they kind of just went up early. I feel like they chained the first 2 hills, or the first P3 and P4, and after that, they kind of just held on to their lead. Kind of just stayed ahead of rotations, kind of just traded hard points. London, they started locking some time down and getting some points on the board, but a pretty comfortable map number 4 for Minnesota.
I just don't understand this Minnesota Rokkr like franchise in hardpoint, bro. Like, since Cold War, their game 1 record is like 20-something and 41. And then in game 4 they're just like a different team. It literally makes no sense to me.
The slow start, consistent slow start is weird.
I don't know what it is, bro. I think these guys are either cursed, it's attached, that's cursed, or it's the coaching staff. It's one or the other.
That curse shit don't exist, bro. They gotta whatever they're doing to psych themselves up, or team talk before map 1, whatever intensity, energy, something like. We need big enough sample size that like it's a weird.
We need Benjamin Bance to go back to the heavy breathing, bro, technique they used to do in Cold War.
With the meditating and stuff?
Yeah, like the
They
meditating.
don't still do
on
that? They
stream.
probably still do that.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen him heavy breathing and meditating before a match
Well,
on camera.
I mean, listen, they look good in this hard point. I mean, they look pretty comfortable. They won this one, and they ended up closing out the map 5. So, listen, obviously, you know, they're not taking down Atlanta Faze or Optic, but it's always good to get a dub on the board. And
yeah. What was it, a 7-game losing streak they had before?
I don't know exactly what the
7
exact number
something?
was.
Yeah,
I don't know,
it was pretty up there.
Yeah, they were on a little bit of an L streak. So I think it's always good to get that W and just kind of flip the momentum a little bit. But Ben, Pat, any final thoughts on a map number 4? I didn't have much written down because I felt like Minnesota, they chained a couple hills early and they stayed ahead.
It was
a really good start.
London legit couldn't get any P2 time on both rotations. I think that was basically like 90 or 80 seconds, and I think Minnesota won by 120. So
yeah, they won by a lot. And we could take a look at the scoreboard: 23 and 14 from Afro, 21 and 13 from Cammy. If you got them on your fantasy team, it's looking good. And then on the other side, everybody from London just negative. Nobody can get anything going. Rough map number 4 for them. And then I feel like Minnesota, as we head into the search and destroy, they kind of just run away with this momentum and do what they got to do. Honestly, London, it's Nasty who makes a really good 1v2 off the start of this game. I actually really like the play here. Chris, I know you wanted to see him chow after he tagged up the second guy. But with 14 seconds left, yeah, he ran out of ammo. He ends up dipping, and I just like the reroute from him. He kind of dips through bottom mid, completely switches lanes, and Bance just doesn't know where to look. He has no idea where he went. Of course, Bance has no choice but to try and get that bomb down. And London, they got off to a good start, and then obviously going into the second round, I blinked and it was over. London, they come out strong. They push right through Art, right through P1. You can already see Asim. He dives at a top window, finds 2. Just like that, London win the first 2 rounds. I'm like, holy shit. London smoking them. This might go by quick. Next 3 rounds go to the Minnesota Rokkr. They end up bouncing back. They win 3 straight. And then after that, we could go into the 3-2 round. This is where our B plan comes in a 2v2 situation. Ben, I felt like you were getting frustrated watching this. I don't know why. Maybe you can break it down. What was your frustration here?
In this situation,
yeah, it was a 2v2 B plan. It seemed like you were yapping.
I didn't mind the streak, but they knew that they were playing a B, and I was a little confused why Dylan, who wasn't involved with that streak that you just talked about, he backed up all the way. So they kind of gave themselves enough time on this retake, and then Trey kind of did this common play we've seen a lot in these sort of 1v2s or late plans where you hide behind the sign, they never check it, and they just kind of peek out and get the kill. I think Minnesota did the right thing because Dylan had a sniper and Dylan was the one that hot bombed, but unfortunately Afro was unable to get the kill in time and London clutched up.
Yeah, and just really good plays out of Trey here. You can see Dylan, he hops the bomb. Trade probably has to come in there from Afro. I don't know if he lost ammo or I don't know what happened there. But Cartier comes in 0 with the 1v2 to tie it up at 3. Afro, I don't know if he lost ammo. I'm not really too sure what happened, but really big plays coming out of Trey. And Asim, he kept trying to do this mid-hop jump into the windows and stuff, and it just wasn't working for him.
I actually got a pick, Tom. This was Asim. Every round when his teammates were like, yo, stop fucking doing that jump.
Wait.
Yeah.
He definitely died. How many times did he die doing that jump? Like 3 times, 4 times?
That's a lot, bro.
I think eventually you got to stop doing a jump if you keep dying. He kept trying to find a timing, but it ended up not working for him. And then we get into this 3-3 round. I actually thought Scraps might have been able to stick this. Let's take a look at the timing here and see if he would have been able to do this. It would have been close, man. I think he maybe would have got that. It would have been very close, man. Let's see. He gets on. Let's see what time he gets on the bomb. He gets on a bomb at around.
Just look at the progress he was at. He was at 50%, and then start the time from when
I would like to just start where as soon as he gets on, we should stop. He gets on at 14.9, so 7.5.
It shows the bar of how long he had it.
Yeah, let's see. So it goes almost halfway. Yeah, nah. It would have been
3.5 seconds. Like,
listen,
that's it
would have been really close. Like really close. Like if he stuck it might have worked, but
he didn't die till 7.8.
Yeah, no, just really close. Nail biter there. Maybe if Tank stuck the defuse, he maybe could have had it. But then we get into the 4-3 round, and London, they're able to get the bomb down, but this is all Dylan attach. He got the sniper rifle on a retake on the A site on Fortress, and he somehow picks 3. I think he gets onto that site and finds Scraps top rails and Art, takes him down, Then he gets onto that stage. He ends up finding another person in R who tries shimmying the bomb. Obviously, they got to check to see if they're defusing. He gets another snipe onto Ace. Some good shots there. And then I think Dylan also finds another one onto Rails again. So 3-piece out of Dylan. Then I love the heads-up play. Get on the bomb. Bomb's planted for mid. And have your teammate look over you. Just really good plays out of Attach right there, man. He just completely called the game. So I just wanted to highlight that. And then obviously we get into the 5-4 round. It was London who win the defense. And Kami just calls game on this one. He actually picks up an ace in his last round to finish out the series. Any final thoughts, guys, on this one as Kami gets the ace for the dub?
I think the difference here in the series was just, or in this map, was that Rokkr was really good at working the A side. Every time they went to A, they weren't really rushing the plan every round. They were kind of like baiting the cross and waiting for like the London players to challenge. As for London, they kind of really weren't doing much. Like they got the bomb down a handful of times after losing some like players, but then their setups post plant were just garbage, and they ended up losing the map because of it.
Yep. Any final thoughts, Pat and Ben?
Not on this one.
I think for London, if you want to go look at the overall series stats, or if you need them, I can kind of send it to you so you can pull them up.
You put them in my chat.
I mean, I think for this London team going forward in the next week and the week after, if you take a look at how all the series have gone down, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect with how fast the subs are playing. That's both Nasty and ASIM. I'm saying just ASIM. And how the ARs are playing. Let me find the exact series score here. It's here. Put it in your chat right now. If you want to go ahead and pull that up, and you can go look at the overall kills and deaths for each team. I just think, in particular, one adjustment I think Matty, aka Scraps, needs to make is I just think he's playing a little bit too slow. And I think they need to be a little bit more decisive in their decision making. I think it will help them a lot. I know they're a newish team. They're definitely still working on stuff. But I think that adjustment will help them maybe try and win some of these series, because right now they're in a little bit of an 0-2 hole. I think they're on like a 7-game L streak too, going back towards Major 1. So hopefully they can turn that around shortly.
Yeah, no, and then you look at the Minnesota side, they're all positive. All 4 players around the 9-10K damage range, and just kind of putting down those numbers, man. Good overall team effort coming in from Minnesota today. So great job out of them as we head into the next one. Atlanta Faze going up against Seattle Surge, Embassy Hardpoint, Mercado S&D, Hotel Control, Hotel Hardpoint, Hotel S&D ending with 3 hotels, but we did not get there. This was a very, very, very dominant 3-0 out of Atlanta Faze. I'm going to skim through this series. I don't think there's much to say other than me personally. I think Seattle just got absolutely outclassed today.
There's only one thing I want to say about these videos, Tom, real quick, is we talked about Seattle yesterday, like they should never play Fortress again. So they actually did a nice gamble in this, and I kind of will tip Seattle, which is I don't think FaZe likes Fortress either. So they actually end up getting rid of Seattle, getting rid of Embassy, because that's FaZe's probably best search map. Banking on FaZe not to pick Fortress, which they did not in this series, because they got rid of Vasilio, which they had lost to Seattle at land. So it was a good gamble by Seattle, but they got never even close to playing a map 5 search, because they basically lost this map, and then the next 2 were one-way traffic, Tom.
Listen, there's only one thing that needs to be said, and I got it up.
Here we go.
I got it up right now.
Let's take a look here. We got AG. Hey, please, man. No way, Pat. No way. Where do you get, Pat? You got an artist?
Of course, you got an artist.
Tom, you know I'm connected, Tom. I'm well connected.
You're connected.
in
You're
the
connected,
scene,
Pat. You're connected. I like that, Pat. That's what I like about you. You network.
This guy needs to at least put like a watermark over his work, man.
He's a businessman. That's what he is. He's a businessman.
I think Tom, the microcosm I think of this series is like MC played the worst on their entire team, which can't think of the last time that happened, and they had the quickest 3 of all time. And I see a lot of BS that people say like, oh, like the Nets, what happened when Tim starts gap filling and yada yada yada. I think it's like a little more simple, guys. Like they have not had a lot of series in the last, let's say, 9-10 months where both Simpin and BZ are playing at a top level. When this team has both those players at that mark, the game is so easy for them, as we saw in match.
That can also be true for all the finals that they've lost, Ben.
Absolutely, Pat. Absolutely.
Yeah, Pat. What did you think about the series as a whole? To be honest, I feel like
as a whole, I got something for you, Tom. This is what I thought about this series as a whole.
Oh, that's not right. That's not right.
Yeah, Pat. Do you have any words as a whole?
Any words?
Do you have any words,
look,
Pat?
Look, I mean, I just think this Seattle team, that I've said from the get-go, is just very hot and cold. Today, not only were they cold, we got a red-hot Faze who just came out playing no games. I think you kind of saw from them in all their, like, you know, post-win tweets and stuff. I think this Faze team is just kicking it up a notch. I think they're kind of at this point where they're, especially with Slasher here as well, like, they're tired of these seconds and thirds. I think they're going to have an absolute dominant major. And I think they're going to come into Boston and prove a lot of, and basically kind of put themselves back on the map and where they should be. They just played flawless COD today. All of them were firing. Sasher was like a 1.5, Simp 1.5. Like when all three of them are like 1.5s and then sells like a 0.9, like I think this team is going to be a problem. So
I mean,
go ahead.
Like it shouldn't really be. I mean, with this team, I agree because now they've kind of figured out search, and they're probably the best offensive search team in the game right now. Vegas probably the best defensive search team in the game. Those are probably your two kind of elite search teams up there. We're probably with Florida and like Toronto. But I mean, bro, now if they put together the hard point, I think control like they are going to be just difficult to beat because this team is just they're just good at all three game modes, and they just suffocate you, bro. We've seen now 2 series from them where they've just worked the team map one on a close embassy. In fact, I think in both this and the Vegas series, and then they just stomped on the next 2 maps. I think we're going to see this quite a bit this season.
I think what is going to, help them out was the spawn change. Like these guys came from when they had Arcities, a dominant Cold War where the spawns were kind of normal, right? You could block spawns, you could split people. There wasn't squad spawns. I don't know if you guys realize this, at least maybe some of the casual viewers. There's no squad spawns anymore. A lot of the spawns are more normalized where you can actually block people and split people and spawn people out and be a lot more effective in that sense, because before you couldn't. And this is going to play to their strong suits, right? It's going to be more normal for them. They're not going to have to deal with the squad spawn. So we'll see how their hard point improves, but I think it's going to help them a lot.
It was just a clinical map 1 from them. Just a really comfortable lead. Faze did a good job staying ahead of rotation. They did a good job taking their time and playing their kills. And I think the Tiny Terrors were back at it, man. They were going absolutely crazy in this one. Just to see them work off each other. I mean, we'll go into that third map as well. I think it was Simp, right, on a 16 kill streak in one of these maps. These guys, bad. Yeah, they're just really, really good players, man. They just absolutely went off. Take a look at the final scoreboard. You can see there, Seattle. Everybody negative except for AG. Rough map out of Lamar there. And then on the other side for Faze, you can see a BZ and Simp. They're really kicking up. Everybody from Faze kind of pulling their weight, but Faze outclassed them in the map number 1. We head into the map number 2.
This is where it really became an outclassing.
This is where a BZ, we can just look at the first round and what a BZ did. Just picture this the whole game. This is pretty much what he did. Just absolutely used his tax, used his aggression, wasn't ever scared to chow, and just kind of just ran at him the whole time. It seemed like Faze Ben just had that gas pedal down in the search and destroy.
Well,
they weren't afraid to chow. They weren't afraid.
I think, Chris, you should speak on this because I think with the spawns, they were taking advantage of some key spawns. Do you want to talk about, Chris, what happens if you're on that side?
There's just a lot of people might not realize this, but there are RNG spawn points in search. Sometimes you spawn really close towards these cars on the parking lot side, and sometimes you spawn far. And I think a BZ and Co are getting the closer spawn all the time. And when you're getting that spawn, you pretty much should just hit A because there's no detriment to not doing it. You saw a BZ and some of the other players opting to not throw their tax because it wastes time, and they're able to actually get pushed up closer to the A building before you see here in the clip Pred even be able to get there. So I mean, these guys just obviously know how to exploit that, and some people might not catch on.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, we used to do this back in the day, but if you get that good spawn and you're going, if somebody else can throw tags for them, I mean, those seconds matter in S&D, like getting to positions faster. Granted, that BZ kept fucking up his stun grenade. he kept burgering the stun grenade, but he'll go back later and work on his angles on that one. It's weird in this game. Whenever you try and bank stuns off like those little sides of the windows, that they always come back towards you for some reason. Where in past CODs, it would always bounce off and go the other direction. So I don't know why in this game they come back towards you. You just got to be careful with how you throw those. But BZ just absolutely running at him as we kind of skim through skim through this a little bit, you can kind of see AG in his 1v3. He has nothing to do. I mean, it was just an absolute swarm of red bees, man. I mean, they just couldn't do anything to answer him. Pat, anything you got to say, Pat? Anything at all in the S&D?
Look how far ahead of BZ is, like in front of his teammate. Like,
yeah, no, he's running at him, and clearly doesn't care.
They can't get him. They can't get to the site before he does.
And he even predicts.
So broken,
predicts Lamar with the nade. Throws the nade down L wall. Lamar walks right into it. I mean, but it was clinical from these guys. It looked like they did their research too. It looked like they knew how Seattle played. And just completely mowed him down and took advantage of it. So I'm sure Seattle's going to go back in this one and kind of figure out what the heck went wrong.
I can sum up that map number 2, Tom, with one picture. That's all I got to say.
Go ahead,
Thanks,
Pat.
right there. Right there. The absolute Abizi show.
Yeah, no way, Pat. No way, man. You didn't have to do Tyler like that, man. You didn't. He looks like Justin Bieber there. Like a young Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? He had the hair flow going. He had the hair flit. But yeah, you can see how Faze was able to end this one. It was Dante left by himself. He gets taken down, and this one's all over.
Yeah, AG wants me to play that round. If you actually back it up real quick, AG.
This map was over, Ben. This map was over.
The map was over, but AG actually snuck through there, and if it wasn't checked, he had an opportunity to almost make a play. And if they had gone up 3-5, I think there would have been a little bit of maybe they were pulling this off. But instead, he gets checked, go play from Simp, and that is that for the round and the map.
Yeah, it's 11-4 from Abizi. Everybody positive. 7-3 from Slasher. 7-4 from Simp. 4-2 from MC. On the other side, everybody negative. Nobody able to get anything going. Any final thoughts on the S&D before we head into the control, which was another bloodbath, man. 3-0 win for FaZe here in the control. They win back-to-back offenses. They win their defense, and it was pretty easy for them. Seemed like they just outslayed, man. Just outclassed them. They just played better in Seattle today. That's all it really comes down to.
Just pull up the scoreboard. Just pull up the scoreboard from this series, bro. It was just absurd. It breaks down what happened today.
Ben, if you want to drop it in my chat, Ben, we'll take a look at it.
Simp was on Nuke on this map, like, and that's not a troll, like.
New Quatch.
I mean, literally. I mean, true. Like, I mean, what did he end up on a 17 streak? This map or something like that?
And this was a streak right here. We could kind of just let it play out and just kind of see how he's maneuvering around the map. But just his awareness around the map, right? I think is what it is. Just being able to like think so fast and just kind of outposition his opponents, and he switches lanes very quick. You never really know where he's gonna be. So just really good plays out of him. You kind of see Simp just absolutely hustling. Bro, even with this catwalk and low bedroom, you could switch lanes really fast, man. So just really good plays. Any final thoughts on the control at all other than Pat's meme? Before we take a look at the scoreboard,
It's a smoke show.
It wasn't even close, bro.
I think the one thing I'll say, time and time again with Seattle, obviously they got fried by FaZe. Seattle is, it's probably an off series for them, but the S&D will keep saying it every time we watch them play, bro. Search is their big glaring weakness right now, and need to see some progress from them in this major cycle, or it's going to continue to limit what I think is a very good team. There's going to be stuff in the splendor of just coming up short because they can't win key searches.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the final scoreboard here. Yeah, this is an interesting scoreboard. Look at MC's interactions compared to the rest of his teammates. And you can see everybody on FaZe pretty much doing a 1.51 out of Abizi with a sub is insane. Same with a 1.4, a 1.40. All of them. Slasher has been great for them too. He's been really, really good for FaZe.
I think Austin tweeted, obviously we haven't talked a bit about Bruce on this show, but with all the Bruce stuff, I think people have been saying stuff Austin's way about Dashy replacing him, and maybe he took that into this series and wanted to show a little bit extra.
Maybe. I mean, Austin's been playing great for them, and from what I've heard, I mean, he's been nothing but a pleasure to work with as well. So it's cool to see Slasher just getting into his element with these guys and just frying. But yeah, really good series out of FaZe, man. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, on the series? I don't think you guys have any final thoughts onto that one. It was pretty quick. It was a very quick series.
Someone respected our time today, which is nice.
Yeah, we'll head into the next one, man. We had the New York Subliners going up against the Los Angeles Thieves. This was a great series.
This one actually pissed me off, though, Tom. This one pissed me off.
Why did it piss you off? We'll take a look at the videos, but why did it make you mad, Pat? What happened?
So I do have Kenny and Draza in my fantasy for this major. And granted, Kenny had a great series, and they didn't do too bad for me.
I have Kenny too.
Yeah, but I got off the phone with my real estate agent right after the series is over.
Right.
And she let me know exactly what occurred in this series.
Bro, Pat.
And it was that LA Thieves just absolutely sold maps 3 and 4.
You think so? You think it was an absolute toss from the Los Angeles Thieves?
Maps
Pat?
3 and 4 for sure. Yeah, bro. Hydra was 4 and 20 and ended 25 and 25. Like,
yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about that once we get there. We'll do one map at a time. But to kick things off, we get into the Fortress Hardpoint. Ben, Chris, Pat, anything that caught you on the hardpoint? I thought this was a great map. Very back and forth. Kenny went off. I think the storyline for me in this one is just, guys, he just had a really rough start to the series. He ended up turning it around, and I like that he kept his composure. And then we saw in the S&D, he was getting really unlucky with his timings a couple times. So what did you guys think about this first map?
I think this whole series in general, Tom, just shows you how strong New York Subliners is in terms of their team play. Granted, Skies was playing really poorly statistically. These guys kept this map close as hell.
Yeah, they didn't. It didn't really matter. They were just working together. And Paco obviously is just like Paco, Kismet, P-Dog, Skies, all of them, man. They have a really talented roster. They have a high ceiling. Any one of these guys can take over at any second, you know? And I think that's what makes them a really good team. Ben, what do you think as we skim through the first map?
No, I think you guys covered it. Obviously, on the Thieves side, they probably feel like they tossed the maps after this a little bit away. But I think we talk about New York and the 0-2 start they had, and since then how good the teamwork is. And I think there was even a listen, I believe, on this map, and I really liked, and I called it out. Once again, you love to see everybody small talking, everybody directing traffic, including Paco. I think New York's just a well-oiled machine, and they're well-positioned, I think, to go deep again in Major 2.
And then one spawn that I wanted to take a look at was right here, going into the second P1. There's a little bit of a weird spawn, and I wanted Chris to take a look and kind of see how he spawned there. But take a look here. Old Hill is still popped. Number 8 spawns in the back, and then I believe somebody ends up spawning behind them here, unless I'm wrong. But I could have sworn somebody got a back spawn, unless I'm faded. Chris, what was the spawn? What didn't I tell you, Chris? We watched it.
I don't remember at the time, dude.
Here it is. Here it is. I found it. So you can see him holding. They're holding on this last P5 here. And then somebody just kind of flips behind them. Boom, right there. 8 spawns in the back, 5 spawns behind them. That is random cheese, right? That is completely random right there. That is random, Chris. That is random.
No, it's because
his teammate spawned right before him in the back. They got 2 different, one on one side of the map and one on the other.
Yeah, but the reason why was because they were in the hill. Now the hill's neutral, and when the hill's neutral, that's when the spawns get really fucked in this game. Any of the pro players can definitely vouch. Whenever the hill gets neutral, that's when the spawns go crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
you can explain that. Perlu will tell you. He just put it in there. I don't know if he's trolling, but you can.
I mean, I guess, Chris. I guess
it's not too fugaze.
You know
that would be more.
I guess. Dude.
Also, they did have a player really pushed up into maps, and on this hill, for some reason, when you start getting like pushed up into maps now, like it's one of those like safety things where like you can't spawn trap as heavy anymore in hardpoint. That's when they start.
I love how we're at the point where like we say that spawn makes sense just because we can find a reason of why it happened. That spawn does not make fucking sense.
Well, no shit. But there's nothing we can do. It's the game we play.
No. But let's be clear here. That spawn should never fucking happen.
Yeah,
I don't care if we can figure out why it's happening. It shouldn't fucking ever happen. That's a horrible spawn. Period.
Yeah. No, I don't know what that was. It's unreadable. Like it's literally you can't. And granted, Chris, it probably was because the hill was neutral. That's probably why he spawned out. I mean,
it's one of the reasons why that'll happen. But look, even Kismet says that you can literally make that spawn happen 10 out of 10 times if you wanted to.
All right, I have no idea how. I mean, they obviously play the game every day, so maybe they know. I mean, how, bro? How the hell are they making that happen?
I don't know if kids gonna be teaching, bro.
Nah, but what did they do to influence the spawn here? I don't understand. What did they do? Like, I don't understand what they did here to make this happen 10 out of 10 times. I mean, bro, he said he's not teaching, but like, damn, these guys must be on some next level shit because I have no idea what the hell they did. Maybe because number 3 was looking at the right when number 8 spawned, and then he gave it up, and then number 5 spawned behind him when the hill was neutral. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, New York, these motherfuckers are on some crazy shit. I'm gonna be honest. They're on some. They're
But
on some
looking at
next
that
level
wouldn't
shit,
really
Pat.
matter because it would only block line of sight. It's not like he got like, you know what I mean? Like his line of sight was on the right, where 8 spawn was still on the left, which would have been unblocked by line of sight anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. That one threw me off a little bit. I'm sure the pros know more because they play the game every day. They might know how to manipulate some of those spawns, but that just looked like a bunch of trades, and they were supposed to spawn in the back, and they ended up just flipping. But yeah, let's keep moving on with the map as we get through the second.
Actually, hold on. I can figure out why that spawn happened real quick.
Okay, you can figure it out, Pat. Before we get into the listening.
Yeah. Yo, Ray. I got a quick.
Oh no.
Oh wait.
Is that Rambo?
You're bowling? Oh, okay. I'll call you back later, man. I just had a spawn question. Oh, you're bowling. Got you. No
Let's
worries.
go into the listening with the New York subliners.
That was bowling.
looking at me? I have a streak. Do we have trophies?
I don't have a trophy.
No, he's on left. I'm one shot. Help me. I have a trophy on time. I have a trophy on time. I'm running up on you. Yeah, I was one shot, bro.
Circle's in.
There's two there.
One more circle and close on you.
I spawned out here.
Close on me.
Close on me. I spawned a grand.
He's on the.
On me. Looking at me.
No, he's one shot. Nice.
Yo, get that. P5. I have a trophy on you.
Yeah, watch left, Caesar. Watch left.
I have left. On me first. Left, P1 right now. P1 is challenging. He's on the boxes. Nice. One more P1. Last guy P1, Sam.
What?
Bench. I'm watching P1. Yeah, I got it. Get all this time. Get all this time. Green. Yo, Sam is P1 on me. Challenge me. Lay down.
Dead. I'm stunned.
I'm front. Two of them. One shot. They can spawn green.
Top green. Yep, top green. Nice. Good job. More.
P1.
Sorry, just stay out.
Bench. I'm gonna go right.
I spawn barn. They're gonna keep spawning green. I think.
Open.
Open.
I'm getting off the scratch. They're gonna be green, right?
One more P1, Kenny. P1's crossing.
He's bench. Yo, listen. Someone get time. Someone go to the back. I'm going stage. I got top rock. Someone get time.
We'll keep in the back right now.
I'm gonna help the back. I'm getting time from the back door.
They can be top down.
I feel. They could be on me.
Stage is open or no? Stage is open or no?
I've cat on me on one shot.
Right.
One's P1. Watch my bottom mark.
I have P1. I have P1.
You can be your single step. I'm holding off angle. He can't shoot me. Yo, don't see Joel in P1. He's out. Follow him up. I'm up here. Get off. I'm getting off. What's your back door and P2.
Just slide. You're good.
Yeah, back stairs right now. Back stairs.
I have your help left.
Back stairs. You got me. Top rocks.
And that's gonna do it for the listening. They actually get broken right there towards the end of that listening. Really good plays from LA Thieves. Just kind of swarmed. They push the left. They push the right. They just won all their fights. Kind of pushing out the left and the right and kind of just spawn killing them, right? Like they come off spawn. P-Dog comes off spawn and listening off tractor, and he just gets mowed down off spawn. Bro, you can really spawn trap on this map, man. Like Fortress in any game mode, you could pin people. Even Chris, you could probably talk about this a little bit, but the P1 side of the map, like where number 5 is right now, those cubbies behind them. Sometimes you can spawn people right in front of you in those cubbies.
Yeah,
and completely mow them down.
P1 Street is one of those spawns that needs to be blocked like on a lot of the hills in this game. But if you don't manage to block it, like if you have nobody on that street on the majority of hills, like you just know they're spawning on that street like every time.
And then one thing I just want to highlight in this map, number 1, was Kenny, man. I mean, he's been MVP form right now, bro. I've been talking to Sam. I've been playing Mospit with him a little bit. He's been saying Kenny's on point. I got him on a fantasy team. This guy ended up going double positive in the first map. I mean, Ben, talk about Kenny, these LA Thieves guys, because they ended up losing the series today. I know Pat said they felt like they gave away a couple maps, but these guys still look good, man. And they're playing the Major 1 champions, so this was a great series.
Yeah, I mean, for Thieves, we talked about the Major 1 performance prior to this series. I think the fundies are there. The slaying across the team, especially in some game modes, was really not good. There were obviously some individual players that were struggling, but like across the board, that was their problem really last year. They improved it towards the end again a little bit at the beginning of this year. And I think I think as we get into map 2 and map 3, unfortunately for Thieves, is as good as I think they've improved on that front. I think when we talk about the round 11 and how we got here in this map, and we'll get shortly to the game 5 in control. I think these were missed opportunities. Round 5, sorry.
Yeah, we hop into the second map. We get into an LSCLO S&D. I like this play from Kenny off the rip. A little laydown cheese. You see a lot of people, they stun the door open with the sniper, and they find easy first bloods. Kenny counters it. Lays down, looks under the table, and ends up finding 2 here in the first round. So just cool little highlight out of him. It was actually going pretty back and forth this whole game until the 3-4 round where Paco did the impossible. Paco somehow able to clutch a 1v3, 20 seconds left, 1v3. He has the bomb in hand, has to get it down. I think the only thing that maybe LA Thieves should have done differently here is like just don't maybe move together, like maybe not let him get the bomb down, because once you let him get the bomb down, I feel like at that point, like, he's able to make a play, you know? But what do you guys think as we watch Paco win this 1v3? This was a whole momentum flip for these guys.
They should have just played from the bomb a lot quicker. They kind of were taking a bit to hop it. They were solo chowing, and Hydra was just trying to catch like timing every single time on them trying to like push it. If you notice, like he was playing this really
playing aggressive, which I love. I love that he was playing it like this. You see a lot of people in the clutch, they just wait and wait and wait. But Paco, you could see he was trying to catch those timings and trying to catch them slipping, and he caught all three of them with their pants down. Really, really good plays out of Paco. Ben, Pat, any thoughts on that? Paco really kicked up on some of these maps, man. He made some really big plays.
Anything, Ben? I was waiting for you. I was waiting for Ben.
I mean, I was going to say what Chris said. I mean, I think Paco was just making himself such a difficult kill in that situation, some good shimmies and some good movements, staying alive, making a DS play. I mean, I'm sure Thieves will be kicking themselves with that round because that was an opportunity to put this one probably to ice, and instead this thing was 4-4 and there were some more twists and turns.
Yeah, and I like the retake here from New York too in the 4-4 round. LA Thieves, they work towards that A plan. We see teams go towards that A bomb like 90% of the time. P-Dog, he finds a gap, ends up getting on that flank, and just really good shots onto Draza. He finds the first blood, and at that point, New York just do a good job using their numbers and swarming on into the site. They end up finding them one by one, so a clinical defense out of them as they're able to retake this site. And then as we get into the next round, this is kind of where Caesar, we could tell, was just having one of those maps. I see him in the chat right now. Skies, you end up going 1-10 in this one. How does it feel to come out victorious? They actually caught you getting caught with the stun grenade here. You probably would have had a nice little kill here until you get caught with this stun grenade in your hand, and you end up getting wall banged as well. You can see Sky's leaning back in his chair there, but it was good to see you stay composed, C, and fry the rest of the series. Go ahead, Ben.
There are like 2 or 3 other moments this map where Caesar got one of, if not the worst time you could possibly get in that situation. Like, this man was going through the absolute blender in this map, and I'm glad, obviously, they came away with the series victory because this was just a giggle afterwards.
Yeah, no, you just have to laugh that one off. And then we get into the round 11. Trades go down. It's actually New York that make it a 4v2 situation. Envoy's able to find a little bit of a gap here in the setup or in the push, and he's able to get 2 without dying. So good plays out of Envoy to find 2. Actually, he ends up getting traded by Kismet. Great trades out of Kismet here. He trades Envoy there, and then they end up pushing over towards this B site. And Octane maybe could have clutched this here, but the Bulldog again with a big trade. Skies gets shot in the back, and Kismet comes in and just absolutely beams Sam there up close and personal with the Vaznev. Good plays out of Kismet to stay aggressive and pick up those trades, man, and just being active, especially with no red dots, man. He's picking up those trades quick. We'll take a look at the final scoreboard. Man, Skies investing in his game, doing what he's got to do.
Caesar, that's a good one, bro.
That's a good win right there. That's a good win for show. Any final thoughts on the S&D? Maybe something Thieves could have done differently or anything at all?
You just gotta win that one, bro.
You think that's one that
you just gotta win, bro.
You can't get. I think the clutch was big. I think the 1v3 was big, man.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. But when someone's 1-10, bro, you can't lose. Period. Unacceptable.
Yeah, I know a little bit something about that.
And then we get into the next one. It was a fortress control, and honestly, this was absolutely insane. It was starting in the first round. It was Envoy who was able to make a play. This one goes all the way down to lives. And look at Dylan Envoy, able to find some timings here, get aggressive on this offense, and it's LA Thieves. Envoy finds good timings. He ends up getting 3 here on the flank, so really good job out of him. LA Thieves end up winning the first O. And then they go into a defense. You know, on Fortress, this can get bloody really fast. They end up pinning New York into that spawn trap, and New York can't really get out. LA Thieves quickly go up 2-0. Paco, triple negative. He ends up just turning this map around like crazy. And Pat, I know you wanted to talk about that a little bit because you mentioned you think Thieves threw this map and the next map away. Paco just kind of went God mode.
Yeah, so he was 4-20. They were down like 0-2, and then I don't know how he went 5. He went 20-5.
It was right here in the 4th round where he caught the fire. You can see New York. They actually
started slow in this round too. Like he started pretty slow for a while, and then he caught fire at the end.
Yeah, he was able to get out. He's on the offense. There's only 17 seconds left. He's currently already sitting on a 2 spree, sitting at 11-2. And just look, man, look how he's able to maneuver the map. I mean, he's really, really quick. He's not missing any shots. He's hard to track on a map, and he's kind of just moving all over the place. They go off for him for a second. He finds one, finds another one on a 6 spree, jumps the corner, takes down another one, make that a 7 spree, gets onto this point. He starts getting swarmed, stays alive just enough for his teammates to get there. Streak comes down. He's going to get the information, pushes the back, finds 2. I mean, dude, he was doing it all here. He was doing everything, getting the info, probably calming like a maniac, and just really good plays from Paco. I'm sure LA Thieves is watching this one back like, how the hell did we let this happen? You can see there, boom. After that happened, Chris, I know you talked about this, but now New York has the defense going into the overtime.
Yeah, literally, that's all it's going to take on this map, dude. Winning offenses are just way too difficult. But dude, honestly, if I'm LA Thieves and I go back and I watch this, 17 seconds left, and a guy pops a 9 spree, bro, you got to think all we had to do is trade this guy once, bro, and they couldn't do it.
They couldn't trade him. They just couldn't trade him out.
Trade him. He ended up going even.
Nah, game-changing plays for Paco, and then you can see here in the last round, just LA Thieves get pinned back into their spawn. Nothing they can do, and they get trapped, man. They get completely trapped on Fortress. We know how deadly that spawn trap is. Kismet 33 and 23. Give it up for the Bulldog. Everybody else on New York negative or even. So Kismet having a really good map number 3. And then on the other side, it was Envoy who was leading the way. He actually started off super hot. I thought LAD was going to run away with it, but New York not letting it happen. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, on the map number 4?
15 kills on 1 round of control, and nonetheless, it was a fucking offense on Fortress. I don't think people don't even realize how fucking difficult that is, dude.
Yeah,
15?
The craziest thing to me was that Kismet was not on your team of the major, bro.
Yeah, how
your
did
scuff game team of the
New
major.
York players end up on the team of the major, bro?
That is wild.
Hello?
The Bulldogs are 99 right now.
Fan voted, bro. Fan voted, apparently.
If the disrespect from the fan base.
But again, the crazy thing, I mean, obviously New York was resilient, but like, dude, Hydra doesn't clutch that in search. Hydra doesn't have a 15 kill offensive round. They might get 3-0'd here. Like,
yeah, that's why
very realistic.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true, Pat. It's very, very true. I agree. I agree with you. I think Paco really, really went crazy today. He helped them a lot. I think New York, they looked a little flat, but I mean, Pat, you also got to give it to Paco went crazy, but he's a part of this team. And in this team, they have people who could kick off at any time. And that happened here at the end of this map number 4. It was a very back and forth map the whole way through. And then as we get to the end here, take a look at that mini map number 3, Skies. This is really where he kicked up, man. He did a really good job on rotation here. Getting here early and just winning a lot of ones. He was able to kind of push this one forward and close this one out for the New York subliners. So good plays out of Skies. And the New York guys, you guys can see on your screen now how they were able to lock this one down and close it out in this back and forth map number 4. But good series, guys, right? Good series, close matches, close maps.
It was. Very surprising series.
I feel like, man, every day we watch this game, man. It sometimes these predictions, they get harder and harder because you see how close these teams are, and it really comes down sometimes to just those little plays, right? Those plays that Paco is making, or the plays that Skies is making here, right? Like these little things. You know, so you really just have to go back and really see who the difference makers are for
Tom, you want what's crazy? After this series, they did an interview with Skies, and Skies basically said for the first half of the series, he was playing with the Guitar Hero, like guitar.
He was playing with a guitar. No, he said he switched up his sensitivity, or not his sensitivity, his aim assist. He changed the default, and then he was also hitting some ladder stall shots with the pistol. I think he got like
crazy, bro.
I think he got like maybe 2 or 3 kills, like 2 or 3 kills.
Last P5.
And he was saying in the interview that it might have been kind of OP, that there's like a metal bar and it's like hard to shoot somebody. Is that true? It's hard to shoot people head glitching the ladder with a pistol. Because I feel like that's trolly, man. I feel like it looks a little trolly, but yeah, good job out of Caesar Skies and all the New York guys. Big win for them, and they end up coming out victorious. So, gentlemen, any final thoughts on the final match here before we look at what's coming up tomorrow?
Chris, what was a surprising series to you? I'm just curious.
Just the New York one. It didn't pan out how I thought it would pan out. I knew the New York. I had New York winning, but not in the fashion that they did. It was kind of actually like a fun series to watch because of that.
Yeah, I think Thieves is right there, Tom. I mean, they're really. You look at the numbers, and even we watch back their games. Like they're so close right now. Just little things that are just getting in the way of just winning some of these maps.
No, I agree.
Hyper competitive.
Yo, by the way,
they look good.
You were asking earlier, like, was that one control round where they ended with like 28 lives? Was that the craziest? It actually wasn't. There was a bunch in Cold War. Cold War has the lead. Like there was a bunch of 28 lives left rounds.
Oh wow.
And it was Checkmate, Garrison, Raid, bunch of Garrisons. Yeah.
Really?
All three of those have
Interesting.
28.
Garrison
Checkmate.
makes sense to me a
It was-
lot
it was
because that spawn
Thieves-
trap was crazy.
Yeah, it was Thieves, Ravens, and Surge. All have a 28 lives left round.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Nice, Pat. Thank you for the stats. Always love when Pat comes in with the stats. Shout out to him. But let's look at tomorrow's matches. We got Ultra against Florida. Optic coming out tomorrow. Got a new look to them with Hook, right? Going up against Boston Breach, coming off a big win yesterday. And then we got the Los Angeles Guerrillas going up against LA Thieves. I think Thieves look great today. LAG, new members, new players, complete new look. So I think that one could be a good one as well. We'll kick things off. Toronto Ultra going up against Florida. Personally, I just think Ultras are looking really strong right now, man. I probably have them in like my top 3, top 4. I feel like when those guys are on point, they're hard to stop, and they've been looking really good. So I'm going to go with Ultra 3-1 in that one. I can see Florida maybe taking a map, but I think Ultra's going to have a pretty comfortable win. Pat, who do you got?
Yeah, I got Ultra. I think they're gonna come out hot with a 3-0.
What does that say, Pat? Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in here, Pat. What does that say there, Pat?
What you talking about?
Fuck, Hydra got more than 4? Nah, see, Pat, I couldn't see my screen, Pat. If people are dropping 4 when they can see their screen, then I don't. You know what I'm saying, Pat? You know what I'm saying?
It's typical time.
Go ahead, Pat. Give your predictions.
Yeah, I think I got Ultra coming out hot, 3-0 in them. I just think, I think they're top 3 right now for sure. So I don't think it'll be close.
Chris.
I got. Wait, are we just going over all of them or just first series?
Just the first one.
Oh, Toronto.
Go ahead, Ben.
This series could be kind of interesting because of how good Florida is in S&D, but Toronto's just a way better respawn team. I think Florida will take a map. I don't think it's gonna be a hot 3-0, but I got Toronto winning this in 4.
Toronto's a good search team too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Florida will battle with them. It's just tough for me to see Florida winning one respawn against a Toronto team that's firing on all cylinders right now. So
yeah, I think us too. Like if Florida does, like if they are the Neslo team, I think Toronto is one of the harder teams to Neslo because they are good at all modes.
I mean, to this point of this Toronto team, bro, like the only squads that they've really lost to this year was Rokkr, the first match of the season, so be it. And Faze in New York. So like that's pretty good company to be in. I think Toronto is just a class above right now.
And then we get into the next one. We get to see the new Optic Texas, man. Obviously, a lot of stuff hit the fan. A lot of drama, right? A lot of stuff just coming out to the public that I think a lot of people just didn't know about. Dashi, he ends up moving to the bench. I think, he's trying to find a new place to go play. But Hook coming back in. He's reunited with XEO. It's going to be Hook, Shotzi, Scump, and Illy. I'm guessing Illy's going to be on a main, Scump on a flex. And they're going up against Boston Breach, which is not going to be a walk in the park, after getting a new player on your team and getting back into it. Boston Breach has been looking really, really strong. I'm actually going to go with Boston in this one. I think Boston's going to win this one. I'm going to go 3-2. I can see it being a really good series, but I have a feeling Boston's gonna edge it out. What do you think, Pat? What do you think?
I agree with you, Tom. I think Boston is going to edge this one out. I don't think there's been enough time for this Optic team. We also just don't know how they're going to look in this switch with Seth to an AR and bringing a new sub, who obviously, honestly wasn't playing well at all in this game. So, we're going to have to see if their chemistry matches. But, I think Boston's looking really good right now, and I think they're probably going to come out hot and get a dub.
And then before, Chris, you go, I also heard some stuff about Ender stuck in Canada, having visa issues, which is also just another, that just sucks, So I don't know if he's going to be, playing from there. I don't know if it's going to mess up, the split or anything. But it's something to think about. I also don't know if that's true. But, Chris, go ahead.
I think I got Boston winning it. I went with them in the last match, and they look like a really good team right now. They prove they're not M4 merchants, and they're starting off the split strong. So I'm gonna go with Boston.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing with Ender potentially, I guess, playing this from Canada against Boston.
Is he playing from Canada? Is there a valid source on that? I think I saw it on Reddit. I can't really, or Twitter or something. I don't know where I saw it.
So Ant AK Shotzi last night was on stream and said that Illy got turned away at the border. So as far as we know, and they haven't put out an official statement on it, he's not in Texas now. Maybe they resolved it overnight. Maybe he flew in today. But I, for now, assuming like whatever is going on there, he may be playing from Canada here. Obviously, I think Boston's probably got a lot more practice than them. So as much as I would like to pick Optic in this, and I think my original pick'ems video I picked Optic in this, as time has passed, I think I gotta probably put Boston in the win column for this one. I'm gonna give Optic one map and say Boston wins 3-1.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not really too sure how Optic's gonna look. Like, I don't know how they're gonna come out. Like, I could see them coming out. They're all on point. Like, I could see them frying. You know, like I don't know what we're gonna see from them. Like, I haven't seen anything. I just don't know. Like, I really just don't know. I'm excited to watch the match tomorrow because I just don't know what's gonna happen. So we'll see, man. So we all got Boston in that one.
Hold on, let me actually check for you. I can check for you real quick. Run this. Yeah, I see them getting smoked, Tom.
Bro, Pat, you can't be serious.
I just ran 14 million situations.
You're changing memes and stuff. You're telling a story with your pictures now. You're telling a story, Pat. Like,
yeah, that's what I do. I just ran 14 million situations.
Bro.
Yeah, and they got smoked in all of them, Tom.
Well, listen,
I don't. Wait, there wasn't one where they didn't get smoked.
Nah, they got smoked in all 14 million.
Listen, I definitely think there's a world where Optic could come out and win this series tomorrow. They have a lot of superstar players. They got great players on the team. It's just I just don't know what. It's early. They just got hooked. They went through a whole period where they were looking for a change, and I know they were looking to get AG, and there was a whole bunch of stuff going down. I just don't know how these guys are gonna look. So we'll see how they come out and play. And I'm sure it'll be a good match regardless. It's always entertaining to watch Optic boys go up against Boston. We get to see Seth versus Zinni, so that'll be fun to watch.
That's actually an X factor we should consider here, to be honest. We know Zinni. We know he likes his gifteds and his host. So it may play a factor here. I'm not saying it will, Tom. I'm just saying it's something to keep in mind. That
you think he's gonna throw the game?
Of all people in the league to do Seth the solid,
the king might have to.
Yeah, he was. Hey, Ben, he was in here like he's the hand of the king. You never know. You never know. Of all people in the league, I'm just saying this would be one. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, if they win, he's gonna come on the show tomorrow and roast you for that take. So you better be prepared.
I mean, the guy said he's the hand of the king, so I don't know how much roast power he has here. But
let's move on to the next one. We got LAG going up against LA Thieves. I thought LAG looked better today, like their new roster. Like I thought it looked good than what they had prior. I'm excited to watch them play again because I want to see more. I just think LA Thieves right now, this is a day where they probably thought they should have won against the Major 1 champions. I think they're on point. I think they got a good roster. I think they've been playing well in scrims. Like I've heard nothing but good things to them. They look good today. I'm going with LA Thieves. I'm going to go 3-2. 3-2. I can see it being a good series because I think LAG actually looks pretty good. But go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, it's a 3-0 Thieves. It's a Draza versus Exceed. I just think Kenny is playing insane, and I don't think this LAG team is going to be there yet. Obviously, I also don't think they're there in S&D and maybe even Control. So I think it's going to be a 3-0 Thieves.
And then Ben Razim, what do you think about LAG and the Los Angeles Thieves?
So I'm thinking about, I think LA are just going to come crazy, you know? I mean, after that tough loss today, I think they're going to come crazy. And one thing I want to say about that Boston versus Optic match is that the king of the hand will do whatever he needs for the kingdom.
The hand of the king. The hand of the king, Ben.
He will do whatever he needs to do for the kingdom.
Not the king of the hand.
The hand of the king.
There you go.
Hey, listen, Ben Razim, it's always a pleasure hearing from you. Have you heard from Eli or Standy at all? I know you two are like really, good friends. Have you heard from him at all, or what's he doing?
Nah, he's been grinding.
Oh, he's grinding. That's what I like to hear. Eli, that's what he does. He grinds.
Yeah,
bro. He grinds.
He's grinding. I think he might be hopping in some 8s here soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know he's always been grinding, so yeah, he's just grinding for his match tomorrow.
All right, well, Ben Razim, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Have a great night, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for coming on. Chris, who do you got? Chris, who do you got?
I think LA wins.
LA? You got LA Thieves?
No, I think I got LA winning.
Which one? Moron, which one? LAG, LA Thieves, what are we doing here?
That's for me to know and you to find out, Tom.
All right, well, go. We'll see what happens. Thank you for your prediction, Chris. And then Ben, who do you got?
Fun fact about this series. As far as I can tell, LA Thieves has never beaten LAG.
What?
Oh, fun fact. Seriously,
The Battle of LA. LAG's
So
undefeated.
You said LAG is undefeated against LA Thieves. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's an
Yeah.
interesting stat. That's actually a very
But
interesting stat.
That aside, I think that streak ends tomorrow. I think LG will take map 1, and Thieves will take the next 3, and I got that as your series in 4.
And we got two
Alrighty.
Ben J predictions then, huh?
Yeah, we got 2. We got Ben J Razim and Ben J Nassim. You know, Pat, and then yeah, shout out to Eli as well. I know he's been really grinding, as Ben Razim said. So shout out to Eli Standy, man. Look forward to watching him play in the first map tomorrow. First match against Florida Mutineers. We'll see what the Toronto Ultra boys can come out with, but. Yeah, guys, long day at COD, good day at COD. I think it's time that Ben J Nassim puts us out. I mean, it's going to be a long day tomorrow. I'm excited to watch Optic get in there with the new team. It's always a pleasure to watch them play. Got Tony Boy going up against them. Going to see Scrappy and the boys over at Toronto Ultra. They're going to be getting turned. So that'll be fun to watch. And then we got, another look at the new LAG going up against the Los Angeles Thieves, who are your world champions. So
LA's definitely win that one, bro.
Excited. Chris has all his money on LA. I think he'll be all right in that bet. Let's go on board with Ben J Nassim as he sinks us out. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ben J. Let's get rid of it. Get those channel point predictions going up top, because it's Ben J Nassim stepping up to the plate. He lines it up on the green. Got his stinky fucking slippers on. And let's see what he can do. He flips off the camera. He flips me off. He's losing composure. He doesn't know what to do. He's lining it up. Let's see what he can do, folks. Let's see what he can do any day now. Any day now. He's going to try and sink this pot. And Ben J Nassim, he misses the pot. He misses it. He absolutely fumbles. He absolutely fumbles the bag.
No redos, no redos.
Oh, man, no
Chalked.
redos. He's stepping up to the plate again to try and sink it, but it's too late. You've already lost all your channel points, folks. You've already lost. So let's go on board with Ben J post-putt interview and see what the hell happened there. Ben J, post-putt, you end up missing a putt. You're costing everybody in the chat who believed in you. What happened?
No, you're costing me. You iced me out, bro. I'm blaming this one on you.
Bro, I always roast your slippers. It's what I do. I got my slippers on, too.
I heard that time, and it threw me off. I'll be
Well,
honest.
hey, man, listen, bro. The Bulldog lost his points, so you got to say sorry to the Bulldog. But listen.
Sorry, kids.
Listen, man, that's going to do it for us, man. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Anchor.fm/TheFlank to check out all the audio sites that we're on. And go follow @TheFlank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials. As always, we'll see you tomorrow. A lot of great matches. Take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode of The Flank, man. Peace out.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.